The sun was just rising over Jackson High when Aaliyah Moore walked through the school gates, her backpack tight against her shoulders and her head lowered like she always did. She was 16, quiet, with deep brown skin that seemed to shine even under the gray morning light. Her mother, Denise Moore, had braided her hair neatly the night before, whispering softly, "You are light, baby. No matter what they say, you are light." But school wasn't a place where light survived easily. Jackson High was cruel to those who stood out. And Aaliyah, the new transfer from a smaller city, stood out in every way, her skin tone, her soft voice, and her refusal to fight back. She wanted peace. The world wanted her broken. The bullies came early that morning. 3 girls from the cheer squad, blonde, loud, untouchable, led by their captain, Brooke Walters. They saw Aaliyah sitting alone on the steps, sketching in her notebook. Brooke smirked. "What are you drawing, charity case?" Aaliyah didn't answer. She never did. Brooke snatched the sketchbook from her hands and flipped it open. Inside were drawings of faces, not cartoon faces but real ones, soulful ones, including her late father, a soldier lost overseas. Brooke laughed cruelly. "Al, look, she's drawing her imaginary friends again. Maybe her daddy drew these before he ran away." The laughter from her group echoed across the courtyard. Aaliyah's eyes watered, but she stayed quiet. She had promised her mom to stay calm, to never let hate drag her down. But today they went further. When she reached for her notebook, Brooke pushed her. Hard. Her head hit the concrete steps. Pain flashed white. The world tilted. Someone shouted. But Brooke didn't stop. The group laughed as they took pictures, mocking her as she bled. No teacher intervened. No one stopped them. And by the time the bell rang, Aaliyah lay still, eyes half open, motionless. Someone finally screamed. "She's not moving." The ambulance arrived too late to see the chaos unfold. Students were whispering, phones recording, social media already calling it a fight. But it wasn't a fight. It was an assault. Aaliyah slipped into a coma before reaching the hospital. Her mother, Denise, got the call while working her double shift at the diner. She dropped the tray she was holding, hands shaking. "What did you say?" she whispered to the voice on the phone. "Your daughter. She's in critical condition. You should come now." The sound that left her throat wasn't human. It was grief turned into thunder. At the hospital, Denise saw her baby hooked to tubes, machines humming like heartbeats borrowed from electricity. She brushed Aaliyah's cheek with trembling fingers. "Mama's here, baby. Mama's here." Tears poured, but behind them something darker was forming, a silence heavy with rage. The doctor explained it gently. She was hurt badly. Head trauma. "We don't know if she'll wake up." Denise's knees buckled. She clutched the hospital bed rail. "Who did this?" she asked, her voice a whisper of steel. No one answered. The principal arrived later, offering cold words about school discipline and ongoing investigation. Denise stared through him. "Investigation," she repeated. "My daughter's lying there, and you're investigating." He shifted uncomfortably. "We have to follow procedure." She stood up slowly, eyes sharp. "You follow your procedures. I'll follow my heart." That night, Denise sat by Aaliyah's bedside, whispering every memory she could recall. Aaliyah's first dance recital, her laughter in the rain, her dream of becoming an artist. She told her stories, prayed, and promised, "I will not let them bury this. I will not let them erase you." Then she went home, but not to sleep. She went to her daughter's room and looked around. At the sketches pinned on the wall, the unfinished paintings, the notebook filled with words like, "Be kind even when they're not." Denise felt her chest tighten. Something in her broke, and something else took its place, something fierce, unstoppable, unafraid. The next morning, she put on her black leather jacket, one she hadn't worn since her army days. People forgot she'd served once years ago. People forgot she was trained, disciplined, and relentless when pushed. She walked back to Jackson High with a calm that scared anyone who met her eyes. Teachers whispered. Students froze. Denise didn't shout or cry. She went straight to the principal's office, opened the door without knocking. "Mrs. Moore," he began. She cut him off. "You have 3 seconds to tell me who hurt my daughter." He stammered. "We're still investigating." Denise leaned forward, voice low and deadly. "Your school has cameras. Show me the footage." He swallowed hard. "We can't release that without." "Without what?" she snapped. "Without a child dying." The tension was electric. She didn't need to raise her voice. Her calmness was the storm. He tried to deflect, talking about privacy laws and disciplinary boards. Denise slammed her hand on his desk. If you won't tell me, I'll find out myself. And when I do, every single person who let this happen will wish they had done their job. Then she turned and walked out. The hallway was silent. Even Brooke, who stood at her locker pretending to scroll through her phone, couldn't meet Denise's eyes. For a moment, it felt like the entire school had stopped breathing. Denise went home and began digging. She contacted parents, demanded answers, called local news stations, and uploaded photos of her daughter's condition to social media with the caption, "My daughter was attacked in school." And no one stopped it. The post exploded overnight. Thousands shared it. The media arrived at Jackson High the next morning. Reporters swarmed the gates. Parents demanded answers. The school tried to silence it, but the truth had spread too far. Denise stood outside the school with a microphone in her hand, voice trembling but powerful. "My daughter is fighting for her life because this school failed her. The bullies are walking free. The teachers are silent, but I will not be silent." By now, Brooke and her friends were being whispered about everywhere. Their names leaked. Videos surfaced, clips from that morning, showing the shove, the fall, the laughter. Denise watched them all, jaw clenched, tears burning her eyes. She didn't post hate. She posted truth. "Look at them," she wrote. "Look at what silence protects." The internet roared. Students began confessing stories of bullying at Jackson High. Former teachers came forward. The school board panicked. But Denise stayed focused. She wasn't just fighting for Aaliyah now, she was fighting for every child who ever suffered in silence. 3 days later, she received a call. "Or Mrs. Moore," the doctor said softly, "we're seeing some improvement. Her brain activity is responding." Denise closed her eyes, whispering, "That's my girl." She went back to the hospital, took her daughter's hand, and whispered, "You keep fighting, baby. Mama's handling everything out here." The news channels called her the mother who shook Jackson High. The principal was suspended. The bullies' parents faced lawsuits. The school was under full investigation. And Denise, she wasn't finished. She began organizing rallies. Students marched with signs reading, "Justice for Aaliyah." The story became national news. Reporters compared her to a storm, unstoppable, righteous, fierce. Denise spoke not with anger, but with fire. "If schools can't protect our children, then mothers will." Her words echoed across every platform. Every interview she gave ended the same way: never underestimate a mother's love. It's the most powerful weapon on earth. And in the quiet hours, when she was alone in that hospital room, Denise would stroke her daughter's hair and whisper, "They thought they could silence you, but your voice is louder than ever." Outside, the lights of news vans flickered through the window. The school was collapsing under the weight of its own lies. Justice was coming, not from violence, but from truth so loud it shattered walls. As Aaliyah's fingers twitched for the first time in weeks, Denise smiled through her tears. "You hear that, baby? That's them falling apart." The storm had begun, and Denise Moore, the mother they all underestimated, was about to destroy everything that tried to destroy her child.